Okay, today we're going to talk about a few different things. This might just sound like some insane ramblings, but first I want to say that my YouTube algorithm is healing because the videos I'm seeing are first, why Oblivion was the best, why Elder Scrolls never got better than Oblivion, Oblivion is better than Skyrim. Things are looking good. Now, what I actually wanted to talk about was I came across this GamingBolt YouTube channel. They have a 1.3 million subscribers. And they put out this video with rumors of a remake inbound. How does the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion hold up in 2025? And before we watch the video together, I want to talk about, that was loud, I want to talk about this channel. You know, I very recently got monetized on YouTube. And something I didn't know before that was that if your video is over 8 minutes long, they put in an ad in the middle of the video. So if it's 7 minutes and 59 seconds, there's no ad in the middle of the video. You get one less ad, and who cares? But, well, I have a feeling that GamingBolt cares. Look at this video, 8 minutes and 5 seconds, 9 minutes and 1 second, 8 minutes 47. You might be thinking, oh, that could just be a coincidence. 8 minutes 2 seconds, 8 minutes 3 seconds, 8 minutes 7 seconds, 8 minutes 2 seconds, 8 minutes 20 seconds, 8 minutes 4 seconds, 8 minutes 24 seconds, 8 minutes 11 seconds, 8 minutes 10 seconds, 8 minutes 2 seconds, 8 minutes 8 seconds, 8 minutes 6 seconds, 8 minutes 2 seconds. And yes, some of them are longer, but it's not a coincidence that none of them are 7 minutes and 58 seconds. And now, I don't really want to nag on them too much for that because, like, yeah, everybody wants money. Money is awesome. I love money. You know, I don't do this for money, but if I did, I would want more money. So it's not the worst thing, but it's an indicator that they're kind of fluffing out their content a little bit extra. If it's 7 minutes, they'll probably tack on an extra minute. And when you watch this video, they do just that. You know, this is...
Good, let's go. We're not out of this yet.
They just show you Oblivion footage.
I've seen you.
We'll go to speed times 2
Let me see your
because,
face.
like,
You
I've
are
seen
the
this
one
a
from my
million
dreams.
times.
Then the stars were right.
They show you
This
a
is
lot
the
of
way.
Oblivion footage.
Based on the veracity of the rumors, it's all but confirmed that
you know,
Oblivion is getting a remake or remaster sometime in 2025. Not only was Oblivion listed
Let's
on
lower
the
his
FTC
volume so
court
you can
case
hear me over
filings,
him.
but trusted sources such as
This
Xbox
part here-
Insider Jez Corden and leakers Corbile and Nate Drake corroborated an Oblivion remake.
So he just told you basically the entire point of the video. He names those 3 people. He talks about the remake. I want you to watch him try and pick this bloodgrass. Now, we've all done that. We've all been there. We've all done that. It's happened. But I'm going to say if I'm taking edited footage, first of all, I'm going to dodge that fireball if I have edited footage. Second of all, I'm not going to show you me failing to pick bloodgrass. That's embarrassing. That reminds me of like the Cuphead thing. Like, come on. Next, I'm going to dodge fireballs. Now, this wouldn't be a big deal if it weren't for what he's talking about.
And if this turns out to be nothing more than a prettied up remaster with UE5
Let's zoom in into here.
the likely prospect of a remaster poses the question, does Oblivion hold up today?
Yes.
Let's explore what a remake would need to both overhaul and retain to provide the ideal Elder Scrolls 4 experience. But first, the elephant in the room. No, not the potato faces and meme-worthy voice lines, the absolutely awful difficulty scaling. Oblivion features one of the most broken level scaling systems out of any game I'm aware of.
All right, you know me. You trash talk the Oblivion leveling system. It is on site. We're fighting. We're going down. You know, your semi-literate cousin who plays Call of Duty and FIFA, he comes here for gaming news. This is what he can observe. Okay, I'm being a dick, but seriously, I thought I was far removed from gaming media. Then I come to this mainstream stuff, and it's like, wow, I'm on a different planet. You know, at least Patrician TV and others that I've talked about, they're intelligent. They have valid points. They add to the conversation. Even if I disagree with them, it's like, oh, they're clearly lucid and convincing, and they've played these games. They've put tons of hours and thought and time into these games. And they also, to be able to put out the content that's as successful as they're putting out without like all of this polish, you know, they need to have a finger on the pulse of what many people have experienced. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to articulate and convince so many people of their opinions. So I have a lot of respect for the less mainstream YouTubers. Now, this person or people, I don't know who made this video, but it just seems they watched the better creators and they copied their opinions down and pasted. But this video doesn't really say anything other than sharing other people's opinions. Let's keep listening.
Use it to level it system is ubiquitous across the series, but pairing that with enemies that scale to the player's overall level results in a monumental imbalance fraught with flaws. My first journey through Oblivion echoes the experience of many others. After watching the epic opening starring Patrick Stewart as the Emperor and Jeremy Soul's legendary music, I spammed the crouch button to find to my delight that I leveled up.
Okay. You don't just level up from hitting the crouch button. You level your sneak skill, which you need to level 10 times to level up. But let's keep listening.
Naturally, I crouch every chance I get after this realization. That is, until I jump to see my acrobatics level up. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see where this led me.
So he picks sneak and acrobatics as major skills. Let's just, put that out of the way.
I ended up with acrobatics and sneak levels more than twice as high as my other attributes. I felt
Let's just keep watching. I don't even need to correct that.
like I was on a fast track to outlevel my opponents, since, of course, attribute levels contribute to one's overall level increase. I quickly found myself getting pounded by high-ranking Daedra, kitted with glass armor during the Battle of Kvatch, and
Okay. You saw him in the Battle of Kvatch. He filmed that. That was Scamps. And here, keep listening.
with nothing to defend myself.
Oh,
but
he already said it.
useless
He said kitted with glass armor. Dremor do not wear glass armor. No Daedra wears glass armor. So he just is making stuff up. Like, it's like he didn't even play the game. He just heard other people complain about bandits getting glass armor after level 20. And is like, oh yeah, I went to the Battle of Kvatch because I know that's a thing, because that's the only thing I did in this game. I played it for 30 minutes. I feel like these people in these types of channels and these journalists, they go to journalism school or business school, and they're like, all right, I have to do this for my job. I'm going to play Oblivion for 30 minutes and then share my opinion about it. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. My problem comes from, I think developers listen to people like this. This guy knows nothing about the game. Like, literally nothing. He doesn't know the difference between a skill and an attribute. He can't convey his point very well. He's just copying and pasting content to get over 8 minutes to make some money. It's his job. That's fine. I don't hate anyone for making money. Do what you do. He makes one more point, I think.
acrobatics, stealth, and mercantile attributes. In short, Oblivion gives you the illusion of freedom, when in reality, it punishes you for prioritizing non-combat skills and attributes.
Okay, obviously, every RPG with combat punishes you for picking things that don't help combat. If you play Skyrim and you put perks in lockpicking, pickpocket, sneak, alteration, and speech, and that's it, you're going to have a hard time. Like, even with that being an easy game, it's a terrible argument. Like, yes, it's a combat RPG. If you don't put your time, your effort, and your skills into combat, you're gonna struggle with combat. That doesn't mean you can't pick some of the other stuff, but if all you're doing is jumping around and sneaking, like, yeah, your character's gonna suck. I also want to talk about, he talked about the illusion of choice. So of course I got to bust out a spreadsheet. There are 21 major skills. There are 10 races, 2 genders, 13 burst signs, 13 burst stones, 3 specializations, and you're picking 7 major skills. There's a whole bunch of factorials and stuff, but there are, just talking about my major skills, let's highlight this one as green, just your class, your major skills, not specialization, not race, nothing else. There are 116,000 possible options. If you include race, spec, and burst sign, so not your burst stones, there's a crazy amount of different options. Let's say you only like 5 of the races. You're going to play one gender. We're not talking about burst stones. Maybe you only like 7 of the burst signs. Maybe you only like 5 of the burst signs. You don't like the stealth specialization, and we'll say, I don't know, exclude some of the major skills. Maybe you only like 13 of them. There are still 85,000 different combinations just at character creation of what you could make. Just your major skills, even not counting 8 of them, like saying you'll never use speechcraft, mysticism, mercantile, security, hand-to-hand, blunt, whatever. You're only picking 1 armor skill and a few more. There's still over 1,000 different combinations. There are a ton of different and meaningfully different, like your experience will be very different in this game because there's a lot of choice. There's absolutely a lot of choice. Then within the game, how you play is different every time. If you watched any of my streams, I've never had any experience at all like that, like Grandpa being the warrior who intentionally fails quests, who kills bandits, who gets arrested, who doesn't do any save scumming. All of it is totally different from what I'm used to because now I'm on stream. And it's just a different experience. I'm playing differently. And my build's different. I don't normally use blunt. I don't normally ignore destruction. I normally use destruction. It's a completely different build. Okay. The point of this video, and they say it in their description, that leaves the question, what should be improved and or kept for a re-release of Oblivion? And so the one good thing about this video is it did get me to think, what should change? Can we make this bigger? Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay. First of all, for leveling, they shouldn't touch it. Most developers are not smart enough. The fact is, if you change one thing, people will throw out their advice. There is a butterfly effect, a ripple effect. It will change more than you intend. There's a lot of unintended consequences when you change a system. I think at most, they should do what I suggest here, where acrobatics is governed by strength and speed, and athletics is governed by endurance and speed. That means when you have an extra way to level strength and endurance, because I think those are the two attributes that can be a little tricky. If you do not ever do a melee attack, you don't get to level strength. And if you want to level endurance, you have to block, wear heavy armor, and repair your gear. It's like there should be at least one or two more ways to level your endurance. There should be more options. It's not a perfect system. So I think that would be enough. I don't think they should do more than that. I think they're more likely to go overboard trying to fix it and make it really easy to get +5 every time and whatever you want, just like that mod does. For skills, they should add more skills. More skills are awesome. If you're actually like trying to remake the game, I think adding unarmored would be the first one you should do, because Oblivion and Morrowind are pretty unique because everything you do improves some skill. Literally running around, jumping, sneaking, swimming, bartering, everything you're doing, talking to people, everything you does improves some skill. And even if those skills like speechcraft aren't necessarily super good, that's okay. And I've talked about my stream. Charm obviously needs to have a way higher base cost. Like there are some balancing things in the game, but I'd rather they didn't do too much because I think they'd mess up more than they did. The standard classes, those could be updated. I think even a noob could do a better job. Hand-to-hand blunt and blade in a single class is just stupid. It's absurd. It shouldn't even be like. There's no reason you would ever pick that. It's dumb. Scaling, it should be toned down a little bit. I think 20 health should be the cap the enemies gain per level, not more than that. And like Zivalai, for example, only gain 12. So those don't really feel like they're that crazy. And I think all enemies should stop scaling at level 32. That's about the time. Really, it's more like 30, where you've reached kind of your player's potential. And so if enemies gained a little bit stronger after that, that's okay. But the fact is, when you're level 34, it's like, oh, I gain 10 health, and all my enemies gain 30 health. Like, that was stupid. They shouldn't continue to get stronger just because I gain 10 health. So they should stop at some point. So I do think that is a flaw with the scaling in Oblivion. And the UI. I've talked about the UI a lot. Honestly, I'm not a professional. Professionals could just develop a way better UI. It's going to be catered to console no matter what it is, and that's going to suck. But they don't need to have the guy take up half the screen. Please just forever remove confirmation windows. Don't ever pop up, are you sure you want to sell this arrow? Are you sure you want to apply that poison? Just do it. That's like the worst. Honestly, that's my biggest complaint about Oblivion. If there was one thing I hate about Oblivion, that's what it is. The confirmation windows. Just get rid of them. Holy cow, if the remaster did that, that would be like amazing, incredible, 10 out of 10. Okay, that's all I got. I was going to crap on GamingBolt more, but we don't need to watch this guy like play badly and act like an idiot. The fact is, the people who make videos like these, who are on these type of channels, they're not like you. They have not put in 800 hours into any video game. They play video games for work. You play video games for fun. So I think I started to touch on this. Devs listen to people like this. It is our job as people who talk about video games. If you know a game developer, or even if you know someone who knows a game developer, if you have any way to contact them, make sure they're not watching content like this. Because this is like, if I knew nothing about Oblivion, I would just watch this and listen to this guy and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But as someone who does know something about Oblivion, it's like, I know he's full of shit, to be perfectly frank. And so I hope they'd watch people who are a little more knowledgeable about the game, even if it's people that I disagree with, like Patrician TV. That's okay because at least it's an intelligent, knowledgeable person. You know. All right, thanks for watching. That's all I got.